I could not believe my ears when I heard Jaws turns 50 years old this year. It took me right back to being, I can't remember, 8 or 9 years old when I watched it on the big screen with my dad, much to the protest of my mum. And those two notes as the camera glides through the sea, well, my fear for water was cemented in stone ever since then. And since it turns 50, I thought it was time to get a bigger boat and scratch build my own version. So I'm using a mixture of materials for this build, and to start I've some balsa wood that I'm going to cut down for the base of my boat. I'll glue some coffee stirring sticks along the edges. Now obviously my boat, the Orca 2.0, isn't going to look conventional. I'm sticking with my post-apocalyptic theme, so this boat is built from anything they could find. And this, what I'm holding in my hands, is the base for the boat. And as you'll have already guessed in the thumbnail, this is a flying boat, so I'm going to need some containers. I glue a couple of empty chewing gum containers to the bottom of my boat. I'm pretending these are the thrusters that keep it flying just above the water. And to cover those containers, I'll use lots of random tank parts to make them look like heavy machinery. Now some pieces have cool looking detailing, so I'll stick them around the edge of the boat first. Once all that's done, then it's onto the thrusters. Now I know it's going to look random, but I've learnt to trust this process. Once we have a bit of paint on, it'll look familiar, but also kind of like it was built in someone's garage with scraps of metal, which ties well with the theme, which is the post-apocalyptic theme. We'll go back to that shortly. Now I want to build my own shack, and well, I basically built a mechanical looking one out of plasticard. I'm pretending someone built this shack years and years ago, dumped it in the ocean, and it became self-aware and is now terrorizing the locals. So our intrepid heroes go out and try and catch this thing. While the other half is out, I raided her cupboard and found the nail gems. I'm going to use these as rivets for my shack. This process was long, slow and boring, so I'll spare you that and just show you the final product. Now it's looking a bit gummy, so we need something for teeth, and this head massager, which again I'm borrowing from the other half, will just come in handy. These pointy bits are made from rubber, so should be easy to cut off. And then just using hot glue, I'm going to carefully place them onto my shark. Since the original shark was called Bruce, I need to make a name for him, so I'm going to call him Roy, in homage of what I'm building. A few burnt fingertips later and all the teeth are in. Just need to add the fin, which also came from the head massager. And there is Roy, all ready to paint and add to the diorama later. I completed the thrusters off screen because it's something that you've seen me do many times before in other videos. I'm just trying to pose the ship now, and it's yet another sprue I'm attacking for cool greeblies. And while I do that, it's subscriber shout out time. It's my way of saying thank you by giving a shout out to all my awesome subscribers who leave comments, tips or just say hello. So don't be shy, drop a comment and your name could be appearing on a video very soon. Oh yeah, almost forget, got to do this YouTube a bit. Please also like and subscribe to the channel. It's free but helps the channel get noticed. Thanks very much. So what I'm doing here is slowly making a stupidly large engine for the back of the boat. I'm using bits of like Lego pieces and things from sprues to fashion and make some kind of engine. I actually found an engine block from another kit that I'm going to use for this build. And the final piece gets added, and then that is the engine. Well, I thought it was until I decided to add some more pieces. The universal adapter for a hosepipe, which we've all got laying about in sheds, is added. And once that finally goes on, I'm calling time on this engine. I do believe I need a couple of towers for the top of the boat, so this shower container will do just nicely. What I'm trying to do is make a straight line with this masking tape so I can cut along it. Well, there's the first, ladies and gentlemen. It actually worked. So let's put some grating on the top of the wood. And for the grating, I'm using strips of plasterer's tape. This is the stuff that you have in a long roll that you use for plastering your walls to make your edges all seamless. And once that is all down, it's time to add the towers. The second one gets added horizontally because this is part of the engine for the boat. And then with a prayer and a lot of hot glue, I stick the abnormally large engine to the back of that. Now it's time to start greebling up those two bits of towers, and again I'm using offcuts of anything that I can get my hands on. I decided to add some wings that will act like rudders. This is from a 1/72 scale model kit. And I keep applying the pieces until I'm left with something that resembles this. I then turn my attention back to the underneath of the flying boat and use this, which is half a container from a bubblegum container. That does not make sense. I add some more greeblies from, I think this is a model car grille, or the inside interior of a model car that I'm just sticking to the side. And while I keep adding bits, it's code word time. If you're still watching, I'd like you to leave this code word in your comment so I know you're a watcher and not a skipper. And the code word is Mr. Hooper. This crane is from a 00 train set and from a long ago abandoned project of mine. I think it'll work on this build for what I have in mind. And that starts with my very own pokey ear sticks, supplied by a subscriber of the channel, Mr. Wolflark. Thank you so much. I want to make a shark cage, and I do believe one can be made just by using these. So I've already been busy and taken off the pokey cotton wool bits on either side, which just leaves the rod, and I'm going to cut them down and be a bit professional here with measurements and make some kind of shark cage. I'm going to use a 3-2-1 block just to try and get everything lined up just nicely and not get it stuck to the workbench. And with a lot of clever editing, I have one shark cage. Yes, I know it looks kind of wonky, but hey ho. I think we can all guess where I found this piece of chain from. The other half still doesn't know. And since it's on my model now, it's my chain, and it works fantastically. I just need to add it to the actual crane, and that's another job done. One quick and easy shark tank made from pokey ear sticks. I used some old cut off pieces of XPS foam to look like boxes, and then using a very dry wet wipe, which isn't wet anymore obviously because I let it dry out, I cut it down and I'm going to use this as tarpaulin. This bit didn't work out 100% how I wanted it to, but you get the general gist. I'm going to hit this now with some watered down PVA. Give that a quick stir and then slather it all over the tarpaulin. Making the PVA glue very watery helps mold the material around the boxes, well, the XPS foam. So it kind of gives that effect of that it's tarpaulin that's covering, I don't know, ammo, machine gun parts, I don't know, anything. Obviously I needed figures for my boat, and these were the closest I could find to what I was looking for. Now, I've said many times before, this is one of the things that I need to build my skills on, and they're not going to be perfectly painted, but for this build they do the job. And if anybody's wondering where the woman went to, well, she's being built and she's going to be used for another project that I'm currently building. For the base, if anyone watched my yellow submarine build, you know how I did the water effect, which is basically using lots of cotton wool and watered down PVA glue, which I just mash onto the base and try and sculpt the cotton wool into sort of waves. This is a cheaper way than using the water effects from Vallejo or AK Interactive, but it does take a little bit longer to dry, which is around about 2 days. So while that goes off to dry, I'm starting to paint the orca, which I'm going to try and keep to the colours of the original boat, which was burgundy, a little bit of black and a little bit of white. So burgundy goes down first for the underneath bits. Then I hit the top bits with the white, but I'm just trying to sort of give it that weathered look so I don't have to go back and do an awful lot. I'm a lazy painter, I do apologise. For the engine bit, I toned down some tan colour and mixed it with some white just to give it that sort of variation of the colour white. I then grabbed a paintbrush and just started to do a lot of the detailing. A brown was added for the decking. Some Go Faster red was applied to the wings of the flying boat. A little dry brush here and there. This was just basically to bring some of the detailing out. I dry brushed silver over the shark cage, and then started the long slow process of using a little sponge that I'd cut down from the kitchen, yes, don't tell the other half, and tried to apply chipping. I'm using a rust colour for the chipping because I figured this was on the water all the time and it's going to get rusty. And now it's time for the base, which is dry and I painted and dry brushed off screen, is ready for the Orca 2.0, but first I need to position Roy in that classic pose. I think we all remember that scene where Chief Brody is throwing the chub into the sea and the shark pops out of the water and he goes back into the boat and says, we're going to need a bigger boat. So what I'm doing is I'm getting some hot glue and I'm just going to position Roy into place. I only have a small tub of this water effects, which I'm just going to dab on around Roy just to try and cover some of the gaps. Then it was time to add the classic yellow barrels that they spear into Bruce the shark, which to try and lift him to the surface, which we all know how that goes. Then it was time to add some more details to the Orca 2.0. Up some tiny bits of sprue to look like fish meat, smeared it in some red ink paint and then plopped it on top of the sea surface. That is basically that. Next are the glamour shots. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Glamour shots are next, but I'm going to need a bigger space to film that. And until next time, keep scratching that build, everybody.